Hi, everybody. Jake Slebodnick for Renda Digital TV in your hometown radio stations. We're back once again with our purchase line preview. Our preview of the Red Dragons brought to you by Luther Ford in Homer City. Proud to bring you the Luther Ford Coaches Corner every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 a.m. on WDAD and WDADradio.com. Luther Ford Lincoln has been the presenting sponsor for Coaches Corner since 1969. And joining me to my right, seventh-year head coach of the Red Dragons, it's Matt Falisec. And, Coach, one of the big things that I noticed is that despite a losing record last year, you had a very young team. Lots of room for growth. Just tell me about last year, some of the takeaways from it.
Yeah, we were young. We had 4 seniors last year, and, normally you can get an idea how your team's going to be off of how many seniors you have, and we only had 4, and we won 4 games, and I thought we were a very physical football team. I thought we were getting better as the season went on. I don't want to say I'm happy with what our record was, but I thought, we played hard with what we had on our team. I think we finished the year with only like 27 kids. So I was real proud of what we did last year.
What were some areas of improvement that you sort of took away from last year?
I just think last year we had a couple seniors that really stepped up for us. We had a decent run game, a decent pass game, but to me, I don't think we were solid in either one of those. We were pretty good at both of them. I think this year we got to step it up a lot, and I think we got the kids that have put the time in and are ready to do that for us.
Well, you had 3 here, Jalen Robertson, A.J. Chambers, and Brock Small. What sort of leadership qualities do they bring in?
Those 3 and, the whole class, that senior class, we have 10 seniors, and, this summer our attendance in the weight room and workouts and everything has been awesome, probably the best it's been in 6 years, and, it's led by that group of seniors, and, you say, oh, well, that's 10 seniors, but they set the momentum of how things are going to go. They set the tone, but it's just a great group of kids, and, I'm going to be sad to see them go, but I'm excited to see them play on Friday nights.
I want to flash it back to last year, and one part of the season that stood out to me was in the first 2 weeks. You get shut out by Penn's Manor to start the year, but then you bounce back and come away with a 28-7 win over West Shamokin. We all know West Shamokin's a very tough team. Resiliency was a theme that I was picking up while looking over this team. Can you sort of talk about what kind of resilience your team showed throughout the course of the season last year?
Yeah, that was, definitely a big one, and West Shamokin finished pretty good last year, and people asked us, how did you guys compete with us smoking, and I just said we did what we do, and that was play football, and I thought we were very physical that game. Of course, they got Lou over there quarterback, and I just thought we played a very physical game, and that was the key last year. Was we were up and down too much. There was games where we would get our heads down, something bad would happen. Game against United Valley, we had a couple bad breaks, and our kids, never bounced back. And I think this year, we'll bounce back from things like that. You can't let one mistake, turn into the outcome of the game, and I think this year, I don't think we're going to have that issue this year.
One thing I'm curious about is the growth of John Ellick under center. Obviously the team runs around him. Talk about how he's sort of grown over the past couple of years that led him to this point to be the team leader and starting quarterback.
John was in there in 9th grade. He was in and out of quarterback. We'd run Wildcat with Josh Seister back in those days, and then when we weren't in that, John would come in as quarterback as a 9th grader, which, as a 9th grade kid going to a varsity game, that's asking a lot. And then every year he's matured more. We've been hitting the 7-on-7s hard this summer. He put on some weight, and he throws a great ball. And I got those guys that you're just talking to, and, they have great hands. So we got to get those guys the ball. But, yeah, he definitely stepped up, put some weight on, been to some camps. But we're excited to see what our offense can do.
Looking up and down the roster, one thing that I noticed is that with the graduations of Mike Zaranko and Thomas Batten, just to name a few, the offensive line, there's a couple gaps there to fill. Can you sort of just give me a state of how the trenches look this year?
We lost Mike and Thomas, and we're going to replace those guys with a couple other seniors and a junior and maybe a sophomore in there. But I think we're going to be small up front, probably the smallest line that we've had since I've been around PL football, which has been a long time. But I think we're going to have speed, and I think we're strong. So it's going to be interesting to see how we gel together. But those are 2 holes we had to fill, and I think we got the kids that will be able to do it.
One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about was the growth of the conference, because you've been around a while. You've seen a lot of new teams come in. Last year was Portage and Cambria Heights. This year it's the Conemaugh Valley and Township. I mean, heck, we're even here at Tom Muchis Stadium in Conemaugh Valley. They're excited to be a part of the Heritage Conference. What does that sort of say about the Heritage Conference when you see this exponential growth?
I think it's a good thing. What I was telling the Gazette over there is it's nice to have everything all in one. You don't have to go out and find a scrimmage. You don't have to find a 10th game like we did there a couple years ago. So I like what's happening. I think this year is going to be very competitive. We get to come to Conemaugh Valley and play down here in a field. I haven't been down to this field since 1992. So it's going to be interesting. And we scrimmage Township, so that'll be interesting as well. So I think it's exciting for the whole conference.
Putting a bow on our conversation, I want to step off the field a little bit. You had a unique opportunity over the summer to join fellow Heritage Conference coach Sam Schutte at the Ken Lancey All-Star Classic. How unique of an experience was that for you?
Oh, it was awesome. Sam's a good guy. He's a good coach. I got to coach it a couple years ago with Coach Marabito right there, and it was a lot of fun. Just being around those kids. And to me, the difference about the Lancey is you're not teaching the basics of football to kids. You're teaching, you're learning the plays, you're gelling kids together. It was just a fun experience, a good game, being around those kids for the week. But it was a lot of fun. It was a great time. And like I said, it was my second time to coach in the last couple of years. And it's just interesting and exciting. And you get to see Richland kids and, kids from all over different conferences of Laurel Highlands. It was a lot of fun.
He's Coach Matt Falisec of the Purchase Line Red Dragons. Coach, before we sign off, why is it going to be exciting to watch these kids on the field this year?
I just think we have a lot of kids that put time in. And, in football, that's what you ask. And, what these guys have done. A lot of these kids have been starting since 9th grade, and they're excited for their senior year. They put the work in over the summer. We've been to the 7-on-7s. We're excited to play football. And I know, we've been practicing 3 times a week all summer. I mean, they're ready to stick people, and they're ready to get moving. So we can't wait for the season to get going this year.
Coach, thanks for the time. Best of luck this year.
Thank you very much.
Coach Matt Falisec of the Purchase Line Red Dragons. Our Red Dragon preview brought to you by Luther Ford in Homer City. Proud to bring you the Luther Ford Coaches Corner every Saturday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on WDAD and WDADradio.com since 1969. Coaches Corner presented by Luther Ford of Homer City. For the coach and for the Red Dragons, I'm Jake Slebodnick for Renda Digital TV.